Hey you guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today, we're talking about the top 5 rods that every angler should own. We spend a lot of time focused on advanced bass fishing techniques. That's what Tim and I enjoy, so that's where we spend a lot of our time. But sometimes we need to just take it back a notch and talk about those basics, about the important things that set you up for success. So today, we are talking about the top rods that everyone should own. Now this can apply to you if you are a brand new beginner, and this can apply to you if you are headed on to the Elite Series. It doesn't matter. Today, we're not focused on price point. We're not focused on specific models, okay? Here, we've got a rod this combo is like right around 150 bucks. Here, we've got a combo that's right around 1,000 bucks, maybe a little more. But they're both, for the sake of this video, the same combo. We're not getting caught up in the details on the specific model. What we're going to do is we're going to talk through the 5 models of rod that everybody should own if they're going to take their fishing seriously, and we're going to talk about them in order. So the first rod that anybody should have in their hand when they start trying to learn how to bass fish, on up from there. We'll walk through the 5, and then I've got a couple, little bonuses over here too. But to kick things off, as an angler, the first rod that I believe anyone should purchase is that 7-foot medium spinning rod. That is going to open the most doors for you, whether you are brand new or you are on a budget or you're just trying to figure this whole thing out. A 7-foot medium spinning rod will allow you to do the most things well. So we can take this rod, cover all of our basics, from throwing little plastic worms, throwing Texas rigs, throwing flukes, to throwing a drop shot, a Ned rig if you need to, pitching around a little creature bait if you need to, all the way to throwing poppers and small topwaters and things like that. You can do it all on that one model. So if you need a starting place, that's the place. Now, you can also do more advanced things like strolling, that has all but taken over bass fishing the last couple of years. In the video description of this video, I will link you, in the order we talk about them, that model, that 7-foot medium, and then I'm going to give you 3 price points for each one of those categories. I'll give you a budget-friendly option, a mid-priced option, and a high-end option. Because just because you're watching this video, just because you need one of these, doesn't box you into a price point. It doesn't make you a beginner. It doesn't make you a budget guy. It also doesn't make you a high-end guy. So we'll have options for each one. But that first one is that 7-foot medium. With that rod, you will be able to experience bass fishing. You'll be able to do 70% of the things, maybe not that many, 50% of the things in our sport, but you'll get a feel for whether or not it is for you. I know a lot of people that get right there and then they just never go any further, and that's okay because they can do most of what they need to do. If you want to branch out from there, we're going to look at switching over to a bait caster for your second rod. I would make that jump right away. Some people want more than one spinning. I would make the jump to bait casting because when you do that, it does 2 things. It shows you the other half of the sport, whether or not you want to participate in those other techniques and styles. Boy, all of a sudden it got dark here. I feel like there's a thunderhead coming around the corner and I don't know about it. Hopefully not. Going to that bait caster, back on track here. Going to that bait caster lets you try some of those other techniques. It also lets you experience the other half of fishing, fishing with a bait caster. More power, more control, being able to throw a variety of stronger techniques. So by going to a 7-foot to a 7.3, sweet spots like 7.2, 7.3, medium heavy rod, we can now add everything in from a swim jig to a spinner bait, a chatterbait, a full-size Texas rig, a lot of jigs, you know, bigger Senkos and stick baits. You can do almost everything. You throw a lot of worms on that. You've really opened the door to experience all that bass fishing has to offer in those two models. Now from there, those are the two keys, okay? If you've got one of each of those, you are doing the vast majority of things already. After that, the next three, we start fine-tuning things. Next one up, we're going back to spinning. Here, we're going to a medium light. So the first rod was a medium, second rod was a medium heavy. Now we're going the other way, medium light, okay? I personally like to get just under 7 foot, around that 6'10" mark is my preference. This rod opens the doors to really finesse fish properly. By the time you've got to know those two, you know there are tough days. You know there are tough lakes. There are days where we have to downsize our presentations. A 6'10" medium light by itself, this rod right here in my hand can throw everything from a drop shot to a Ned rig, to most tubes, to a small shaky head, to all of the small strolling baits. A variety of things can be done on this rod. So I'm taking the finesse end of fishing and I'm fine-tuning it with one rod. And that's why that is number 3. Bass fishing is on a trend right now where finessing is a major part of the game. So that third rod should head off in that direction. And again, in the video description, I'll give you 3 price points for each of these. For this one, this is the middle price point. This X-Pride, bang for the buck. Unbelievable what you can do with that rod. Next one up. We're headed back to the baitcaster. And we're going to a medium action. So our first rod was a 7-foot medium spinning. Our fourth rod is a 7-foot, you know, give or take, 6'10" to 7'2" medium baitcaster. That opens up the world of treble hooks in a big way. That's going to allow you to throw most topwater. You can also throw spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, just like you could on that medium heavy. It's a great backup rod. Throw Senkos, it's great for that. Great for throwing a fluke. Great for throwing a shaky head. Great for finesse jigs. But the biggest thing is opening up the door on those treble hooks. Topwater walking baits, bigger poppers, square bill crankbaits, medium to deep diving crankbaits. That opens up that entire world for you. And now you've got 4 rods that can do almost everything. Number 5, but certainly not least, last but not least, is going to be that larger baitcaster. 7'4" to 7'6" heavy action. A heavy. Rod number 5 is a heavy because that's the last can of worms that you haven't got to get into yet. This opens the door to big jigs, big worms, medium swim baits. So many things can be done with this rod. Now you can throw full size, like big, heavy wire spinner baits. So many different things can be done here. You can fish big underspins. You can fish spoons here, a flutter spoon, a jigging spoon. We can go out and slow roll weedless swim baits like a mag draft. You can also throw the 6-inch standard mag draft. I mean, you've truly, it's the last of the things, big categories that you weren't able to do. You could force some of those things onto that second rod, that medium heavy, but you were losing a lot of the fish that you hooked because you just didn't have the horsepower to smash it home with a jig, or hammer that big Texas rig or Carolina rig fish, or crack them on that swim bait. So you were able to throw them, but it wasn't fine-tuned. Now it's fine-tuned. And those are the main 5 rods in the order that I believe every bass angler should have. Work your way through that. Now, one guy watches this video, you head down to the shop and now you own those rods. I get it. Some guys are gonna go buy them all. Other people, this might take a lifetime. You may never get there, but at least you understand what the steps will open up for you and you have something to save towards. Now, I'm going to offer a 6th rod. Which one, because I have 3, is going to depend on you. Here's how you make the decision. Once you've gone through these 5, and these are in your lineup, you really can force everything that you want to do, okay? You are a well-rounded, well-dialed angler, capable of anything you want to do. But by now, once you've done this, you have also identified the type of angler that you are. You know if you prefer throwing a crankbait. You know if you prefer power fishing versus finesse fishing. Those decisions have been made. They're set in stone for you. So I have 3 more rods here, all of which could be rod number 6 if you so choose. It comes down to your fishing style. Now, up to this point, I was not being specific with the rods, right? Everything from an $80 rod to a $600 or $700 rod is laying here in front of you. Same thing with the reels. Huge swing in price laying out here. I'm not worried about the specifics. We'll take care of that in that video description. Now, again, in that description, those links, if you don't know what I'm saying, if you haven't seen a lot of Tactical Bassin videos, open the video description, whether you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on TacticalBassin.com. Below the video is a description. You might have to open it. You might have to click more, scroll down, click more again. You might have to hit the 3 little dots. Or on our website, you just scroll down, but there's a description and it'll say 7-foot medium spinning, and there'll be a budget, a mid-priced, and a high-end. All those links will take you straight to Tackle Warehouse where you can see those items. That's what we keep those links for, is to help you be able to go and look at that product right away. Now, let's talk about that 6th rod. By now, you've identified who you are, and what you're into, and where you live in the country is a major factor as well. So, if you know you're that power guy, and you live in the South, or you live on a grass fishery, maybe you're down in Florida, a flipping stick is a must. Now, I'm actually being specific with rod number 6. I picked 3 of my favorite standout combos, okay? I, growing up, thought that I hated flipping. It was one of my least favorite things to do, and I grew up around the California Delta, an unbelievable flipping fishery, but I hated doing it. I learned through the years that I in fact didn't hate flipping. I hated the rods I was trying to do it with because they weighed too much. This is the rod that changed my life when it came to heavy cover fishing. This is the X-Pride 711 Extra Heavy. Sounds like a broomstick, right? And frankly, it is. But what it is a broomstick that weighs next to nothing. It's insane how light it is for the amount of power that it has. When I got this rod in my hand years ago, multiple generations of X-Pride ago, I discovered that I didn't hate flipping. I hated holding a heavy rod up high all day to make the flips. If you want to get into flipping, that one right there is hard to beat at any price point. Now, maybe you're not in the South, or maybe you've discovered that you don't enjoy that fishing style, but you've discovered that you love cranking. You can already do it on your medium, no problem, works great. But if you want to dial that in, if that's your niche, if you like cranking year round, this is a combo that I've found the last few years and really dialed in from Megabass and their Levante line. So this is not a super expensive rod. In the world of Megabass, it's their lowest price line of rods, but it has very unique actions in that lineup. The flat side special being one of them. The Megabass Levante flat side special. I have this paired up to a Daiwa Tatula SVTW. That setup is my favorite downsized crankbait setup that I've ever had, i.e. square bill combo. That's my favorite square bill combo that I've ever fished with. In the spring, on the Tennessee River, I have 2 of these on deck all day, every day, because of the amount of time I spend throwing a square bill. I just love this combo. So if you're that guy who's discovered that cranking is your thing, a dedicated crankbait rod is an important category. That should be where you go for rod number 6. And then for the last guy, power fishing's not your thing. Heavy cover's definitely not. You're more of a finesse guy. You like worming, you like the smaller stuff. So far, all you've experienced is spinning rods. This is bait finesse. This is the Shimano X-Pride again. This is the 6/8 light. This reel is called the Corrado BFS. BFS, Bait Finesse System. This is a bait caster that for all intents and purposes functions like a spinning rod, meaning it is specifically designed to throw ultra light baits. So normally your really finessey stuff is on spinning, your power fishing is on bait casting, but not so with BFS. BFS, the reason why I bring this up, for that guy that knows that finesse fishing is your jam, nothing I've experienced in the last 10 years on the water has been as fun as what I do with BFS. Bass fishing as an industry, the last few years, it seems like there's all this drama and nonsense and infighting and just garbage, right? Forget all that. Bass fishing's supposed to be fun. We all want to have fun. BFS is fun. It gives us the feel of power fishing, but I could take a 2.8 Kitech, slow roll it on this combo, smash hook sets like I'm throwing a giant swim bait on an 8-foot rod. I could take this combo and fish that little megabass karashi. Pop, 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 pop. Micro top waters, working little poppers like that Damiki Oompa. Things like that that just take the experience of fishing to the next level. Because what this does is it takes average size fish, even little ones, even bluegill you don't mean to catch, and it makes fighting them really fun. So it elevates your fishing. If you are a finesse guy who enjoys finessing, this is a natural step for you. If you are a guy who lives on a lake where you've discovered you've mostly got small fish, you don't live in South Texas, you don't live in the deep South, you're not in California, seems like most of your fish are smaller, BFS will take that and throw it out the window, because every fish will be rip and drag and giving you a run for your money. And again, it's just more fun. So for rod number 6, you can choose your direction in your fishing, but these are 3 specific combos that have made a huge difference in my fishing experience. So I'll include those as well. And they're not budget combos by any means, but you've already graduated your way up. You're at a place where even if you're a budget guy, rod number 6, you don't have to have it. It's a rod that you want to have to head down into a category. It's not a must-have. So it's worth saving and getting one of those specialized rods to really enjoy that category. But guys, bass fishing is awesome. I mean, I'm so eaten up with it, it's not even funny. But sometimes it's hard to know where to start. So today we just wanted to slow it down, back it up a little, talk through the basics so that you've got a starting point and you can enjoy all that this sport has to offer. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you soon.